know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Oh, even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Alright, the bike's all ready to go, and I'm about to head off in about 1,200 mile trip. A bunch of really cool guys, so check it out.
For the trip down, I tried to take nothing but back roads, staying away from I-5. The scenery was better, the roads were a little more windy, and for the most part I was just trying to get there, so not a lot of talking, mostly just riding.
Maybe hour and a half, I'm not sure. Just had to stop to enjoy these fine facilities. Actually, it wasn't too bad for a vault toilet, but sometimes they're pretty bad. But I think I'm in Dexter. Here's the lake. The main reason why I stopped right here is there's a covered bridge, which I was hoping I could ride over it, but apparently you can't. So I'll take a picture of it, maybe. Whatever. It's a covered bridge. Not that exciting, but I think they're kind of cool. Anyway, so I'm just taking a quick break. Probably eat a protein bar or something, and then get back on the road. So far it's going really well. Traffic's light, the weather's awesome, it's like 70s.
I finally made it down to Bonanza and spent the night on Kelly's couch, which was surprisingly comfortable. There's Kelly loading up his FC1. We're heading out the next morning to take the long way over the mountains and end up in Bend. And Jerry, who owns the sweet Ducati right here, came up with all the routes, which were really amazing. We got to see most of the state from southern border to northern border and back again a couple times, so it was pretty awesome.
Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. We got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
2020 Oregon Moto Trip, Episode 2. The group all met up at the only gas station in town at Bonanza, and we all topped off our tanks. And then in the parking lot, we had a little round table meeting just to go over the basics of riding in a group. For some people, it was a refresher. For other people, it was the first time ever doing it. We not only had a variety of bikes, but also a variety of skill levels and experience. So we went over lane position, passing cars, and basic hand signals to alert the other riders behind you if there's some sort of hazard in the road, or maybe a turn coming up, or even a speed trap. Not that anybody was ever going to go over the speed limit, but just in case. So we headed out up to Schmalt and then eventually to the McKenzie Pass, which was an amazing windy road. Took us all the way to Sisters and eventually to Bend, where our base camp would be for the rest of the day's rides.
Finished the first leg this morning. We rode to Schmalt. It was really fun riding, and now we're stopped at the Pilot to get some snacks and that sort of stuff, so let's go check it out.
The ride over the McKenzie Pass was absolutely epic. It's hard to put into words how awesome it is. Tons of switchbacks. The view is amazing, and then we end up here with a lookout to the Three Sisters. Pretty cool.
That was fantastic.
Gravel on the corners. Mountains. Look at that. Look at this hunk of a man.
What's up, brothers?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Having fun today. That was fantastic.
Phenomenal road.
Fantastic.
Riding up the McKenzie Pass. Phenomenal road. I mean, everything we've ridden today is so windy and so cool. And this is just so neat. Really cool mix of bikes. here, everything from a 250 up to a 1400cc Harley. I'm the only dual sport, some street bikes, some crotch rockets, whatever. Very cool. All a bunch of really cool guys. All Christian guys. Everybody's super cool. And girls. Gracie, Kelly's daughter, is here and she's doing great. So yeah, and then Jerry, that I just showed you a minute ago, is kind of organizing the routes, and his son is here as well. So that's super cool. So I miss having Brendan here. It would have been a really cool ride, but getting some good ideas for later. So when he has leave, we're gonna hit these roads because they are sweet. So anyway, we're gonna carry on and head towards Sisters and end up in Bend, where we're sleeping tonight.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
2020 Oregon Moto Trip, Episode 3.
Hey, I'm Kelly.
Hello, my name is Kevin.
What's up? I'm Gracie.
My name is Quinn.
Hi, I'm Matthew Schultz.
Hi, I'm Jerry Jones.
My name is Eli Jones.
Hi, I'm Steve Alvarez.
You're going to meet these fine folks a little later, but first, we got a ride. After a great night's sleep at our base camp in Bend, which was actually a really nice Airbnb, we're all warming up our engines with a lot of anticipation for a great day of riding. The plan for today is to head back over the pass and then north towards Mount Hood and then eventually back to Bend. Once we got to Detroit, we made a quick stop to make a few adjustments and stretch our legs a little before the ride up north. As we were going, we found an abandoned wrecked car off the side of the road, so Kevin and I had to jump down and check it out.
Somebody probably just either stole it and crashed it and ditched it, or they're coming back to tow it, but they took out the registration and everything. Yeah.
We stopped at Government Camp to fill up on gas and then made the way up the mountain to get a great shot of Mount Hood, where we'd also stop and eat lunch. made it up to the gorge and to the lookout at Rowena Crest, which was an absolutely cool ride down afterwards, and an amazing view while we were up there. Unfortunately for Kelly, on the way down, he had a truck pull out in front of him, so he didn't get to fully enjoy the twisty way down to the highway.
Hey, I'm Kelly, and planned this trip about a year ago. Have a really good friend that's been so busy and wanted to take him on a 4-day motorcycle ride, and so let him pick out some fantastic routes, and as you can see, we had a blast riding. My 19-year-old daughter just got her first motorcycle, and so made her take 5 or 6 trips to get some seat time, and she had a great time. She rode so good. She's a natural in the seat, and it's fantastic watching your own kid ride their first motorcycle. And so Abe, the creator of the video, is my first cousin's husband, and invited my brother and a couple really good friends, and I'll tell you, it's been one heck of a ride. And so
Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm Kelly's younger brother. He invited me on the trip because he needed someone to pace us and actually give him a challenge, someone whose riding skills are much better than his. It was a great trip, had a lot of fun, and can't wait to do it next year.
What's up, I'm Gracie, I'm 19, and I just got my first bike a few weeks ago, and I got to come on this trip and see some awesome country. So.
My name is Quinn. Was born into sin, saved by grace, by Jesus and his face, shed his blood on the cross. Now I know Kelly.
What?
He's a Hess.
That's right.
He's really tall.
Preach it,
He's
brother.
the best.
Hi, I'm Matthew Schultz. I'm one of Kelly Hess's friends. I think Abe's gonna have this cool video. Him and Kelly have been getting a lot of good shots of us riding, and so yeah, it's been fun.
Hi, I'm Jerry Jones, and I was the tour coordinator for the 2020 ride. I know Kelly, we're friends from church, known him for quite a few years now.
My name is Eli Jones, and I'm Jerry Jones's son, and this was my first ride. It was fun. Got out and got to get my first big ride in, and yeah, got a lot better on the bike.
Hi, I'm Steve Alvarez. I'm supposed to tell everybody how I know Kelly. Well, Kelly works with my wife at the Youth for Christ, and everybody likes my American-made Harley. It's not a Japanese bike, and in fact, it's such a nice bike. They made me lead the pack of all the Japanese bikes, except for that Italian bike. We had to put him in the back so he could push the Japanese bikes along, dragging them with the Harley. Kind of became like a little family here. Everybody helped each other out. It wasn't one for one. It was one for all and all for one. It wasn't all for me and myself and I. So I had a blast this weekend and hope we could do it again. Bye.
'20 Oregon Moto Trip, Episode 4.
We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. We got it. We don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
For this last group ride, we're headed out of Bend, up to Madras and then Fossil, and then to the Painted Hills, before coming back, having a barbecue, and then heading home. It's going to be a hot but epic day. Rode from Bend to Madras and stopped for gas, and we're supposed to meet up with Jerry, who's coming back from the Portland area, but he's held up, so I think he lost his gloves and had to go find them. So we are going to take a quick break and then head north and hopefully meet up with him near the Painted Hills. Got full tank. We're thinking of going all the way to Fossil. It's like 90 miles. Instead of stopping at Antelope. Yeah. Down with that? The ride from Madras up to Fossil was just beautiful Oregon high desert, multicolored hills and lots of windy, really nice roads. But it was hot. It was like 105 that day. So we found a little shade at an old abandoned gas station garage and decided to soak our heads because their water was still turned on. We just stopped at this cool little, used to be a gas station. I think it's closed down. It was kind of cool. We're out back getting some water. And we are somewhere near John Day. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe on this map it'll show. I don't know. Let's check it out. Anyway, it's really cool riding out here, and but we're off to the Painted Hills next, so I hope I have GoPro
battery left, we'll see. So we just made it to Fossil. We're just stopping at the only gas station in town to fill up, top off, and then we're gonna get some lunch. So here we are, Main Street Station in Fossil, Oregon. Grab lunch at the Fossil Mercantile.
Made it up to the official state park of the Painted Hills, and the lookout point was breathtaking, well worth the ride. I highly recommend people check it out. It's a beautiful part of the state that rarely get to see.
Battery's about to go dead, but we just saw the Painted Hills. It was super cool. I actually got to ride some dirt on the way up, so that was fun. And yeah, day 4 is in the books. Tomorrow we'll have a fun ride home, and I've shut her down after probably 12 to 1500 miles, I'm thinking.
Back in Bend, we stopped at the local cash and carry, got all kinds of supplies. So everybody was busy in the kitchen prepping and getting ready for an awesome barbecue. We had all kinds of grilled veggies, and Kevin picked out chips. But Mr. Alvarez stole the show with these steaks. We literally bought a massive hunk of meat that we cut into 1-inch New York steaks. And I'll tell you, that is one meal I will not soon forget. Leaving Bend, I headed to Sisters and then took an off-road section of the Pacific Divide Trail that goes from Sisters to almost Detroit. And let's just say it didn't completely go as planned, but it was an awesome ride. And here's some of the highlights.
All right, just left Sisters, gassed up, and I'm about 3 miles out of town, and I'm just about to hit a Forest Service road, just part of the Pacific Divide Trail. So I've got 20 or so miles of off-road before I get back to Detroit, so it should be cool. So that'll be up next. So far it's a really fun ride, but I aired down my tires because I had it way too high for this kind of terrain. It's pretty easy so far. It's a little sandy. You know, there's some good rocky patches, pretty sandy. And then as we start to head up this way, some of the hills, you know, it gets rocky. There's some baby heads and stuff. It's not too bad. But yeah, it's really nice, and it's a really beautiful country. So yeah, we'll keep on trucking. Hopefully with a little less tire pressure, it'll be a nicer, smoother ride.
So the road continued on, and I was right, the lower tire pressure did help quite a bit. The scenery was amazing, and the terrain kept changing between the red dirt and the big rocks, occasional gravel, and then more and more sand. I quickly learned that it was a huge mistake to ever utter the word easy, as the sand got progressively deeper, and initially it wasn't such a big deal except for the hidden rocks underneath the sand, which for the most part I missed until I didn't. I was relieved to hit a rocky patch that gave me more traction until I hit the next spot. It was deeper sand where the rocks were all underneath. Needless to say, one of them was big enough to stop me in my tracks. I supermaned over the handlebars and busted my windshield off, bent my fairing, and broke my left mirror as well. And unfortunately the GoPro camera died right when all that happened.
Well, I made it through that OHV trail. I'm going to go on the record as saying that I'm not a huge fan of sand. The minimal sand was fine. The rocks, the gravel, hard pack was phenomenal with my tires. But man, as soon as I hit deep sand, these bad boys did not do well. So, how did they do? Well, let me show you. Yeah, that's my windshield that no longer exists and my jacked up front fairing. All in all, it's not too bad. I fared pretty well. Wearing all my gear, you know, I'm fine. But yeah, just front wheel just washed out in really deep, really fine sand. And went right over my handlebars and just completely toasted my windshield right off the front of the fairing. So that kind of stinks. I'll have to get a new one. And I bent the fairing and whatever. So, but I made it. I'm back on pavement, so easy now. I'm glad I wore my full visor helmet and not a motocross helmet, because now I've got to ride home with no windshield. So anyway. Yeah, so from this point on it should be pretty smooth sailing and some nice scenery, and just get home. And hopefully in a couple hours we got a nice view of Hoodoo ski resort up there. I used to ski and snowboard up there a lot and stuff. So all right, here we go.
Just a few minutes down the road, making my way into Detroit. My disappointment in myself for crashing wore off pretty quick, and I just went back to enjoying the ride. like the rest of the week, it was all amazing. I wouldn't change any of it. Because, you know, if it all goes perfect, it's not an adventure, right? But a big thanks to Kelly and Jerry, everybody else that was there for just making the week so much fun, and hopefully the first of many trips like in the future.